Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Hawnt. As you can probably tell from my voice, I've got a terrible cold. Bloody thing won't go away. It won't bugger off, and I'm really fed up. It's putting me behind with getting stuff out to you guys on the channel. It's putting me behind with writing things, just with life stuff. Everything's taking longer. Everything's taking what little energy reserves I have, and it's so frustrating. And I just sat thinking, what do I need to do in order to get myself out of this funk? Now, apart from it giving me a very nice deep voice, it's making me tired and grumpy and fed up. So what do I do when I feel terrible? Well, so far tonight it seems to have been watch lots of old 80s metal videos. I've been watching lots of old Iron Maiden live videos and found a really cool Dio show from 1986 on the Sacred Heart tour. So that's what I've been doing with my evening mainly, but I thought what I really need to do is go and look for tapes on eBay, because, you know, that makes me happy. I've gone and had a look on eBay, and straight away I found a really cool seller. So I've got some tabs open here from this seller. I'm going to take a look at those. I'm going to take a look at some more tapes around the bay as well, because this particular seller has made me very happy very quickly, because they're doing it fairly. They're doing it really cool. So this seller is Mashley. I'm not affiliated with them at all in any way, shape or form. However, they I think it's the beginning of their listings. They've got a load of stuff up at decent prices, and they've got a lot of stuff bundled together. So I've got some of these bundles open here. So the first one I'm going to take a look at here is this bundle that has Hardware, Project Shadow Chaser, Night Siege, The Cell, The Last Supper, Fallen, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and the Lou Diamond Films movie The First Power. But what's attractive about this is that that's 7 tapes. That's 7 tapes, and they're only asking $2.99 plus $3.50 postage for that. Now, out of those 7 tapes, there's only 3 that I really want. So it's the Hardware tape, which I miss having my copy of Hardware. Project Shadow Chaser, Night Siege, because I rented it and I had that poster. I had the video store poster from my local video rental store. Excuse me, that may well happen a lot in this video. And Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a widescreen special edition, just because I love the film. So that's a really good batch, and I would pay that money for those 2 alone. But, you know, Close Encounters would be nice, the rest would be nice, nothing wrong with those movies at all. So what I'm going to do there, because this is how I cure the common cold, of course. Oh yes, I need to bid it up. I'm going to bid on those tapes, because that makes me happy. So elsewhere on their listings, they've got some really interesting ones. So let's have a look at another one of these. Here we've got one of my Grail tapes that I'm looking for a copy of this in a good condition. I seem to have found one here. So I'm going to watch this and see if this goes up any higher. It's only $9.99 now. This is the cheapest I've seen Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone in a long time. So I have an interest in this movie. I've seen it a couple of times, but it's not out on DVD. It's hard to find, and it's quite a curiosity, as it has Molly Ringwald of many 80s movies fame in a full-on sci-fi movie. So it's got Peter Strauss, Molly Ringwald, and Michael Ironside, and this was a 3D movie when it was out at the cinemas, and that's one of the reasons I think it hasn't really got any much of an audience for many years, because it was presented as a 3D movie, and there are elements of the film that do come across as we wanted this to be 3D and kind of jump out at the screen. But it's a cool one, it's an interesting one, and they are charging $9.99. They're asking $9.99 for it. So I'm going to watch that. Not bidding on it yet. I want to see if it goes any higher, because generally those are 16, 17, 20 pounds when I see those. Another one I found on their listings here. This is a really good batch. So $4.99, bundle of big box / X rental VHS tapes, tested, horror bundle. This is a really good bundle. because here, right at the front, we've got The Revenge of Pumpkinhead, Blood Wings, otherwise known as Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings in the States. And that is one of the finest straight-to-video sequels ever made. That is a really good horror movie, a really genuinely enjoyable sequel. And despite the low budget, you wouldn't know. It looks great, it plays great, that film, and it's a lot of fun. And Pumpkinhead is just such a striking character. Love how he looks. Okay, so it's also got body melt. Body melt packs more mucus, phlegm, puke, snot, slime, and spit than you'd ever think possible. Now that is a great quote from Starburst magazine. But elsewhere in this bundle here, there's some interesting ones. There's The Hole with Thora Birch, Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. Now, I know it wasn't perfect after the first one, but it was better than the third one, which was lousy. The Crow, City of Angels. Rewatched that recently. City of Angels. I'm a huge fan of The Crow. The first one is a masterpiece. I really like elements of the second, such as the soundtrack and just the aesthetic of it, but it's not the best movie. I have a very soft spot for the third one, Salvation. So I remember at the time the soundtrack album coming out and it being amazing, and the trailers looking decent for it. But it wasn't what we were expecting, because for a while it was going to be Rob Zombie's sequel, Crow 2037, and then that got cancelled and they made Salvation instead with Eric Mabius and Kirsten Dunst. And it's not bad at all. It holds up pretty well, that. But however, you can see it's not dated as well as the original has. Same for City of Angels. It's not dated as well as the original has at all, but it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. I do greatly enjoy that. However, just steer clear of Wicked Prayer, the fourth Crow movie, because that was bloody awful. No comment. Up at the back there, we've got Wishmaster. The first Wishmaster, Wes Craven Presents Wishmaster, with Andrew Divoff as the Djinn. That film was awesome. You know, it was diminishing returns in terms of the sequel. The second one still had Andrew Divoff in it. The third and fourth, yikes. I had them. I watched them at the time and enjoyed them for what they are, but they're not something you want to revisit. And Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula there. Sorry, Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's more like it. But that is not a bad batch at all. It's the Pumpkinhead that's really caught my eye there, and that's only $4.99 as well for that batch. So elsewhere on their listings, let's have a look here. We've got Bundle X Rental and Small Box ones. See, that's alright. It's got Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. No, take that back. This one here. There we go. $6.50. We've got Scream 2, Fly 2, The Relic, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Young Frankenstein, The Howling, Jaws and Jaws 2 for $6.50 all on tape. That's great. That's a really good batch. Or here we've got Prom Night. Is that Prom Night 2? Hello Mary Lou. I'm going to open that up and have a look. So I'll have a look at that batch. Horror Big and Small. It's got Cube in it and Lord of Illusions. That's a good one. We've got Mars Attacks and Akira in that batch there. Let's have a look at that one. That looks an interesting one for $4.99. And yeah, there's a lot going on this page where they've done it right. I am slightly concerned about the postage though, because they're only charging $3.50 postage for these big batches, and I think it's going to cost a lot more than that. It's like $3.85 for one, or $4.45 or something now. So I do think, unfortunately, the seller is going to lose something in terms of postage. Oh, it's not a Prom Night, it's the Reincarnate. Okay, so the Reincarnate there, Scanners 2 in New Order, Darkness Force, Sometimes They Come Back, American Werewolf in Paris, Roadkill and Vampires. See, that's $4.99, and with the Reincarnate, Scanners 2 and Sometimes They Come Back, you've made your money there. So if you're going to sell them on, you would have made your money back just on those 3 tapes. Let's have a look at this one as well. I got open. Yeah, this one here. So we've got The Hunter with Christopher Lambert, Truth or Consequences in LA, one of those films that's very much of its time. Shaker Run, an action movie, and Virtuosity. And what's caught my eye here, and I'm not the enforcer, so we've got Cyborg Cop. So David Bradley, Cyborg Cop, those films, the Cyborg Cop films are fun and just very silly. But that tape and these two at the bottom, we've got Conan the Destroyer, And we've got this marvellous Thorny MI Conan the Barbarian, and the beautiful painted artwork. Those are where you would get, that's the value there. So you've got Conan the Barbarian, and Cyborg Cop. That's where the value is, I would say, in that batch. There's just a lot going on. I think this seller is getting a lot of things right, but I do worry about the postage amount. So let's see what else we can find. So I've done the usual search, Experimental Horror VHS, because this is what I need in order to cure my cold, quite clearly. So let's see if we can find some gold here. The Nostril Picker for $8.50. The old cult classics Frightener. Goldfinger. Okay, I'm going to open this Ghostbusters up, as this is an ex-rental RCA VHS from the 80s, and it's priced at 99p. They've got $4.99 postage on it. That's fine. That's more in keeping with what things cost at the moment. We've got a nice Return of the Living Dead there. I had that edition, but in a squishy case. I missed that tape. Why did I have to sell it? It's because I was poor. That's why I had to sell it. I didn't have a great income at the time. I really regret getting rid of that, because that was one of my precious tapes. Oh, that I Drink Your Blood on Meta is amazing. I'll open that up and let's see what else we've got here. So we've got, that's the Cult Classics version of The House by the Cemetery, so it's not uncut. There's Contamination there. That was from quite a notorious one from back in the day. And Freak Show. Let's open these ones up. Ah, Deep Space, that one rules. I'm not going to open the Kindred, because if you're long-time viewers of the channel, you'll know I have issues with the Kindred, because the trailer was incredible. A fantastic trailer, but a really dull movie. So let's have a look at this Ghostbusters and what the seller's got on there. So it's got specimen cover. That's not ideal. I would prefer that to be a clean cover. But it's got the original RCA Columbia Pictures box. Nice looking tape with the red flap at the back. That's a good looking tape. Is that mold on there? I think that's sticker residue. That's, ooh. Let's have a look. I've gone too big. I think that is sticker residue rather than mold. I think that's on the outside of the tape. But anyway, that's a good looking one. I'm going to go and have a look at this seller's other items. Movie Memories 1138. That's George Lucas reference there. Just to see what else they've got there. So they've got The Exorcist at $10.50. First Blood at $9.99. Goonies at $1.20. So, the Busty Foxes, I will not be bidding on that, thank you. The Goonies VHS Big Box, Worn Home Video. That's a good looking one. For £1.20. That's a good item to snap up if you are a fan. The Masters of the Universe movie. Excellent. So yeah, this was not what Masters of the Universe fans wanted at the time, but man, I love that film. It's a complete Star Wars rip-off. Dolph Lundgren barely says anything as He-Man. Most of it's set in our world, but it has Courtney Cox in it. It's got Thingy that was Tom Paris in Star Trek Voyager in it, and it's got Frank Langella as a wonderful movie Skeletor. I love it. I love the theme tune. There's so much about that film that I really like. Let's have a look at the tape. I may have to treat myself. Oh no! There's our white enemy. There's tape mold on there. That's such a shame. 99p for that would have been brilliant as well. At least they've pictured the mold. They've been upfront about the mold being on there. That's a shame. I so would have bought that. But that looks like they've got some really good stuff going on in there. See, that's what I like. I like to see sellers not taking the mickey and not trying to rip people off. Quite often I will, if I'm putting something up I know will sell for a decent price, I will put it up at, oh, I had that tape with Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It's got a full episode of a Batman TV serial between the two movies for some reason. It's like 25 minutes before the two films and trailers. But I digress. It's nice to see people doing that. So I put things up for a low price. I generally start everything at 99p and just trust that the right people will find it. It is a bit of a gamble, I guess. Not everything goes for a huge amount, but when it does, I appreciate it greatly. Highlander. Well, The Exorcist VHS home video, not big box X rental. Warner VHS. What's going on there? What's with that? That's just like extra booklets and stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Just the stuff that was included with the tape, no worries. So, Showgirls, I don't need to see that again. Red Scorpion, it's a bit high for Red Scorpion. That's higher than I would expect for Red Scorpion, especially seeing as it's higher than Mad Max. Blind Fury there, that's a good movie. Daryl, $14.99. See, okay, that's priced all right for a collectible, iconic 80s movie. Yeah, I like it. I like that they're not taking the mickey out of people there. This is an interesting one. We've got I Drink Your Blood. If you ever bored and doing a YouTube rabbit hole thing at night, as I tend to do a lot of the time, more and more lately, oh, those delicious, tantalizing Planet Hex video icons. I Drink Your Blood was usually backed up with another movie called I Eat Your Skin, but it's like retitled stuff that had been bought cheaply, and pairing doesn't really work. But there is a fantastic trailer for a double bill of I Drink Your Blood and I Eat Your Skin, which just makes it sound like the greatest night of horror movies you could imagine. I Eat Your Skin sucks, it's lousy. I Drink Your Blood is a lot of fun. I recommend this movie. You can get that in any edition, do so. Oh god, I feel lousy. Although VHS hunting is making me feel better, so that's doing something. Let's finish up with what else have we got open on these. So this contamination tape interested me. It's £18, and that's looking good. That's looking quite good condition. It's not a preset. That 18 has been printed on there. If that was a preset, I think they would have been a lot more interested in that. It's a bite now one. I generally go for auctions. So Deep Space, it's the same seller. Some of these are a bit high, I think. Deep Space has a glorious cover. I've got that open in another tab. And Freak Show, a brilliant cover. Invasion of the Body Suckers, great cover. Kindred, great cover. I would want to pay only around like $9.99 for these now. I don't think that in the present financial landscape that collectors can really afford to pay more than that. Now, granted, there will be some tapes like the Hills Have Eyes one there for $25. It's got 18 people watching it. I can totally understand that going higher, but things just aren't going to sell for a huge amount lately. They're just not. But there's some cracking tapes there. Oh, Spellbinder. It's just a shame that film was so dull. Warlock, £15 for Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Basket Case 2, City of the Living Dead. There's some cracking tapes here. If you do want to splash out a bit, there's some really good tapes for the horror fan here. Ah, post-apocalyptic movie, Endgame. Fantastic. Let's get that open to have a look at Endgame. Not Avengers Endgame, but just look at the art here. I love painted art. A futuristic film of survival, Endgame. And you can guarantee that there's no one that muscular or imposing in the movie. So the last two I'd opened up there from that seller, Freak Show, just so we can appreciate that cover art. Columbia Pictures video, but I doubt that would be anything to write home about that movie. But it looks fun. And this Deep Space, from the seller we were looking at, just take in that cover art. I love it that you can see the brushstrokes in it, you can see that it's all painted, but there is so much atmosphere there. It's like an old death metal album cover. That rules. It's a film by Fred Olen Ray, so you know what you're getting here. Let's have a look at the back. Yeah, how can you not love that? Fantastic. Oh my god, look at the state of that tape. Condition, good. You got some nice tapes on here, dude. That is not good condition. That is absolutely caked in mould. That would ruin a player, and it would ruin other tapes as well if that rubbed off inside the tape. But that's a shame. What else can we find? I don't want to finish on a mouldy one. Let's find something awesome to take a look at to finish up with. 1980 edition of Fulci's City of the Living Dead in my favourite cover. I've never had that on VHS. However, I have had the Arrow video box set, which came with reversible covers and a poster and postcards and all kinds of stuff, and that is by far my favourite of the artwork there. Let's just bask in that. City of the Living Dead has one of those glorious atmospheres to it. It has a fantastic atmosphere. Fulci wasn't great in a lot of ways, but he could certainly do atmosphere and eye gougings. So it's not a pre-cert, so I don't think that's from 1980, because that's 1985 onwards, looking at that pre-cert. So the film's from 1980 anyway, but yeah, the tape is from later. But that is a beautiful thing. That is a thing of beauty, and to be enjoyed by middle-aged dorks that just go tape hunting when they've got a cold and don't really want to go to bed because it means sweating and writhing around and getting up. Oh God, I feel so old right now. I feel about 1,000 years old. But I've been hunting tapes, and that is a good thing. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being the chicken soup for my soul while I go and browse eBay and look at videotapes, because I need it. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun, and yeah, it takes my mind off having this stinking cold. And on that note, I'm going to go get my beauty sleep. Granted, I will need about 50,000 years of beauty sleep to improve this horror, but at least there's better horrors to watch, like City of the Living Dead. Thank you for watching this episode of Planet Hex.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and validate my existence.